Hello, my fine friends. New set has dropped online. That means it's a time for a new drafting with Numot. If you guys have been up to date with my YouTube channel, you know I've uploaded some re-uploads from my Twitch page, but ended the stream a little bit early today, so we are going to record a Numot Gaming and YouTube specific draft with Amonkhet for another drafting with Numot. So let's get right to the draft. Set's been out for a little while now, so people should be more familiar with the cards, but I will go through them a little bit as I see them. Well, we opened a Sandworm Convergence. Card is really nice, very hard to beat if you cast it. That being said, it is 8 mana. The nicest thing about this card is that, unlike a lot of cards that have had similar effects, though there aren't many, this one gives it to you at the beginning of your end step. So this means the very first turn you cast it, you're going to get a 5/5 worm creature. And of course, creatures with flying can't attack you. That's just a nice added benefit. But I think the Sandworm Convergence is definitely a nice card. Other fine cards in this pack. Devoted Cropmate is okay. It's been very unimpressive for me, unless I've had Gustwalkers. But it's a fine card, of course. Javelineer is not too shabby. 4 mana, 2/3 that can, well, shoot things if you're running enough instants and sorceries. There's a Cartouche of Ambition. Most of the Cartouches are very good. There's a Fan Bearer here, as well as a few other playable cards. But I'm going to take the Sandworm Convergence, as it is the most fun card, and, well, the most powerful card as well. Next up, we have, looks to be a Gravedigger. I do like Censor a lot. Cycling is huge in this format, making a lot of cards that wouldn't be playable on their own, not only playable, but just great. Like Censor, a blue and a colorless to counter target spell unless its controller pays 1, would not play that in Limited. Give it Cycling, though, and it becomes very, very good. You get to cast it on curve and counter something if the opponent taps out. Or you can cycle it in the late game for a single blue and redraw a card. But anyways, we're looking at Gravedigger here, maybe even Aven Initiate. Emberhorn Minotaur is very strong. Essence Scatter is good. Hooded Brawler, one of my favorite 3-drops in the format. Wasteland Scorpion, just another very solid cycling card. 2/2 Death Touch for 3, and then of course the cycling. My top 2 picks here, I think, are the Gravedigger and the Hooded Brawler. Hooded Brawler stays green, but Gravedigger is the stronger card. And because we're still so fresh in the pack, I'm going to go ahead and just take the Gravedigger and see what we can build from here. Green-black is one of the better archetypes in this format. It has to do with -1/-1 counters, though. And Sandworm Convergence, Gravedigger are just like standalone cards. They don't really synergize. Got one of the split cards here, Dusk to Dawn. Been very unimpressed with this card. And in fact, we have 2 great choices here, both the black Cartouche and the green Cartouche. I think the green Cartouche is the best of their Cartouches. It might even be the best green common in the set. It's 3 mana, enchant creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, you may have enchanted creature fight target creature an opponent controls, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1 in trample. So it's like a Hunt the Weak on steroids. And if they say steal your creature somehow, then the Cartouche falls off. So effects like active treason effects or even lay claim means the Cartouche is a little bit less susceptible to getting blown out. Just a very good pick, very good pack. Ooh, and now we have either another one or a Ruthless Sniper. Both of these are great cards. I think the Sniper has higher upside, but their Cartouche might be better standalone. Whereas the Ruthless Sniper requires a lot of cycling cards, the Cartouche just requires a creature. But I'm going to take the Ruthless Sniper here. I really like green-black. And even though I think the Ruthless Sniper goes better into the blue-black cycling archetype, you know, you're going to pick up some number of cyclers in any deck you play in this format. And so even if I pick up like 5 cyclers, the Sniper can just get so much value. We're going to go ahead and take that over the green Cartouche. And looks like we're going to pick up a 5th pick Colossipede. I've really liked this card. It's impressed me almost in every deck that I've had it. It's filler for sure. A 5 mana 5/5, no abilities, of course, but you know, it's generally the biggest thing on the battlefield. And in a pinch, it just does everything you want it to do. Passing a Dune Beetle, which is also fine, but I think Colossipede a little bit better. Okay, we're going to take the Initiate's Companion here. Also a big fan of the red Cartouche. This card is amazing. 1 red, just to do a lot of things. Gives a creature haste, makes a creature not able to block. all for the low cost of a single red. Passing a Shed Weakness, a Wander in Death, Honed Kapesh, Spring to Mind, but happy to take Initiate's Companion. This works especially well with the Exert creatures. Speaking of, we're going to take one here in the form of Watchful Naga. 3 mana 2/2, you may exert it as it attacks when you do draw a card, and so you can get some extra value with your Exert creatures if the opponent's fallen behind or you have a lot of removal spells. I think the Watchful Naga is quite sweet. Not locked into green by any means, and taking the Sniper over the green Cartouche might have been incorrect for sure, but I think the Ruthless Sniper again has just the highest upside. I'm going to be looking for some Naga Vitalists to get some extra ramp for this Sandworm Convergence, because it's very expensive, but man, when you jam it, oh, does it feel good. I had a draft deck earlier that had 2 of them in it. It was pretty silly. Okay, looks like we're going to take a Pouncing Cheetah here. This card is always just fine. It's never amazing, but it's always just fine. 3/2 flash for 3 in green. You're not thrilled, but you're not, sad about it. Spider Grasp here as well as, Hieroglyphic Illumination, another one. This card is very solid. Like, later in the game, when you have 4 mana available, you can just cast it for 4, draw 2 cards. But at any point in the game, you can just cycle it for 1 mana. So 1 mana to draw a card or 4 mana to draw 2 cards. Just a very good card in general. As we take another Initiate's Companion here over Pouncing Cheetah number 2. I'd rather lower my curve. Fill up on my 2-drops while I can. Ooh, that's amazing. That Hooded Brawler wheeling is kind of crazy because this is the card that I was considering second picking, if you remember. I took the Convergence and then I took Gravedigger over the Brawler, but the Brawler came back, and it's going to be great with our double Companion. Speaking of cards that are going to be great in this deck, currently we have, let's see, 8 creatures and 2 enchantments. Benefaction of Ronus is going to be a surprising draw 2 for 3 mana in our deck. Okay. Washra Cultivator, I'm not a huge fan of, but it can do some work. If I'm going to be playing black, which I'm certainly not locked into right now, this is a really good target for your -1/-1 counters, and if need be, you can always just ramp with it. Dune Beetle, and Alexa Riverside. So overall, a very good first pack. We picked up a ton of playables, more than I would have imagined. Generally, you don't pick up 14 playables in any given pack, but I guess green was just very open, and we opened a green card, so we just got rewarded. We'll see if we can open any nice ones in the last pack or in the second pack. And of course, we do. Lots of good cards here. There's an Irrigated Farmland. All of the cycling rare lands are just great. In fact, I play these even if I'm just playing one of the colors and not both, as it's a tap land that you can cycle, so just very solid. Deemworthy, another one of those very good cycling cards that can even give you value if you don't hardcast it. Duelist is fine. Binding Mummy, very good in the black-white zombie deck. Deliverance is okay because it cycles for 1. Another Hooded Brawler here. Horror of the Broken Lands, one of the better black commons. Very solid. Again, a single black to cycle it, but then it's a 4/4 for 5 that can just do a lot of damage out of nowhere. Ornery Kudu, Supernatural Stamina, a good combat trick, and another Wasteland Scorpion. How many cycling cards do I have right now? We have none. Okay, we have no cycling cards right now. But I still think I like taking the Horror of the Broken Lands over the Hooded Brawler, especially since that Brawler in the previous pack wheeled, so let's go with that. And, ooh, another Ruthless Sniper. Now, at this point, I have 2 Ruthless Snipers and a Horror of the Broken Lands, which means I'm going to prioritize cycling cards a little bit higher than normal. Things like Greater Sandworm would be an excellent pickup, but I like taking the Sniper here over the Worm. Okay, Manglehorn, another Horror of the Broken Lands, Gift of Paradise, Doom Dissenter. Oh, I'm sorry, there's an Edifice of Authority here. I didn't even notice. It's one of the best artifacts / uncommons in the set. It's 3 mana, 1 to activate and tap. Target creature can't attack this turn. You get to put a brick counter on it. And then if you have 3 brick counters, you can 1 and tap until your next turn. Target creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So for the first 3 counters, you use this on their opponent's turn, and their creature can't attack. And then once you have 3 or more counters on this, you can use it on your turn so that opponent's creature cannot block, and then it also can't attack on their following turn. So, great card. Happy to pick it up here. Ooh, buddy. Another card I'm very happy to see. Decimator Beetle. This, another one of those bomb uncommons. It's a 5-mana 4/5. When it enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Okay? Whenever it attacks, remove a 1/1 counter from target creature you control and put a 1/1 counter on up to one target creature defending player controls. So, lots of value. Just, there's nothing else to say. This card is great. Happy to take it. Passing a Synchronized Strike, Kudu, Stinging Shot, but yeah, Decimator Beetle is excellent. Okay, no cycling cards here for us, and I'm not a huge fan of Hapatra's Mark, especially when I don't actually have that many -1/-1 counters yet. I think we can probably take the Ornery Kudu. Ornery Kudu is just fine over Miasmic Mummy, which does have some synergy in the deck, actually. You know what? I will take the Miasmic Mummy. Wasn't really thinking. You have to remember that Ruthless Snipers and even the Horror of the Broken Lands, these trigger off of discard in addition to cycling, so this does have some random upside. Random upside again. Pitiless Vizier, also a card that benefits from cycling and discarding. It's probably a fine pickup, as since we have the double sniper and the horror, we are going to want to pick up some more anyways, so going to go ahead and take that. And remember, you can always just take cycling cards that are colorless, things like Jeru's Resolve. I could just play this in my deck as a 2-mana draw card that benefits, you know, all the cards that have synergies with discard and cycle. So, something to note. Normally, I would look at the Watchful Naga here, but more cycle, more better. I'll take the Horror of the Broken Lands number 2. Unburden, it's a great one. I really like this card. Generally, Mind Rot effects are a little bit hit or miss, of course, because if the opponent has no cards in hand, it doesn't do anything. But again, cycling just makes everything so much better, so happy to pick that up. Here I'm going to take the Supernatural Stamina over the Dissenter's Deliverance. I think this is a perfectly fine card to main deck, as sometimes it hits an artifact, and again, when it doesn't, you just cycle it away, but Stamina is a good combat trick. Alright, either a sideboard Trespasser's Curse, which I'm not a huge fan of, or a Painted Bluffs for a secondary splash. Should we find a card we want to splash? You know, we already have enough playables here, and we haven't even finished the second pack yet, which is quite gross. Yeah, I mean, this is just really coming together quite nicely. We do want to find some more removal. I kind of regret taking that second Ruthless Sniper, or I guess maybe it was the first Ruthless Sniper over the second green Cartouche, but not much I can do about that now. And remember, the snipers do act as removal, the more and more cycling that you do pick up. We're probably taking out the Cultivator at this point. Could even take out the Colossipede now, as again, this is filler, and I have picked up a few other 5-drops that are better. Dune Beetle is also a little bit filler, but a good sideboard card, and a card that blocks a lot of stuff, honestly, so could leave that in. Here we'll take the Spidery Grasp as a... No, I'll take the Manglehorn for the sideboard, since I didn't pick up that Artifact Destruction. I don't think Gift of Paradise is what we want, although it could be. I do have that Sandworm Convergence. Could go on our ramp, and this does let me go from 3 mana to 5 mana, which is not irrelevant. Could try that out. Kudu. Alright, some random cards, and another pack to go, so looking quite good for us here. Gonna prioritize the cycling and any hard removal beyond anything else, but this is a really nice start to a draft. Again, we're only 2 packs in. Let's see if we can open some sick, nasty, rare, or uncommon for our final pack. Well, we did, but it's not one that is going to be easy for me to play. The Prepare to Fight is certainly busted. I do have that Painted Bluffs. I do have the Gift of Paradise. But the problem is I have to cast Prepare before I can cast Fight, and Prepare is harder to cast. We do have another Edifice here, and these are not legendary. We do have a Black Cartouche, a Bitterblade Warrior, so going to go ahead and take the Edifice, and kind of be sad that we're passing the Prepare to Fight, but here we are. Alright, well, after taking the Edifice, we got past Hapatra, Vizier of Poisons, another excellent card. kind of bomby in her own right. 2/2 for 2 in our colors. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Seems good. Whenever you put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake creature token with Death Touch. Is that good with Ruthless Snipers? Hell yes it is. Yeah, this deck is coming together quite nicely. Ooh, and now an Oracle's Vault. I think this card is also quite spicy. Slow and dirtily for sure, but something that's very, very powerful. 4 mana for an artifact. Tap 2 and tap it. Exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card and put a brick counter on Oracle's Vault. Then, once you have 3 counters on it, you can just tap it, exile the top card of your library, and until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. So, high upside to that card. A little setup cost, of course, but very, very powerful. Okay, we have a black Cartouche here versus the Greater Sandworm. And, yeah, God, I would love to take the cycling, but I think the black Cartouche is just the better pick. Gonna need to make some cuts here. We're at 26. We can certainly cut the Honed Kapesh. Probably cut the Ornery Kudu. Although it does synergize with Hapatra. Yeah, maybe that's worth it. Let's see. Hooded Brawler, Pouncing Jaguar, or Cheetah, Mummies. Well, this deck looks great. I do want to cut some number of 3s here, I suppose. It could just be a Watchful Naga. It's hard for us to get this through when we have not too much removal beyond the snipers. Ooh, Defiant Great Maw now too? Yes, yes, indeed. Alright, passing another Sandworm. Also a Splendid Agony here, which would be good for Hapatra. But, you know what? I guess the Defiant Great Maw is also just great with Hapatra anyways, so slam that up. Man, too many playables. First world problems. First world problems, indeed. I guess I can cut the Gift of Paradise. And I think we want to keep the Stamina as it's one of our few tricks right now. Synchronized Strike is pretty good, and I have a few creatures with Exert, so that's not terrible. Alright, let's see. 1 cycle, 2 cycle, 3 cycling, 4 discard. Oh, I guess these Ruthless Snipers are maybe starting to look like they might get cut. It's so hard to cut these cards, though. And they have so much synergy with Hapatra. Like, you don't need that many. Yeah, you don't need that many cycling effects to really make them shine. But, as I mentioned, they are better in the blue-black deck than they are in this deck. Ooh, Destined to Lead, another very nice trick. In fact, this can often just win games because of the lure effect on the flashback, or on the aftermath. Yeah, this deck seems amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. I'm just not sure what we want to cut. I mean, maybe it's the Stamina. I don't like having no combat tricks, but I guess with Double Edifice, that's not so necessary. Oh man, Heaven coming around this late is also crazy. I think this card's very good. And I think red-green is very good, so it's surprising that it's coming around 8th pick. Another black Cartouche here, but this time we'll take the Sandworm. And somehow these Cartouches are wheeling. And I'm not even sure if I can take them this time because I need like a 2-drop in the form of Bitterblade Witch. Or sorry, Warrior. This deck is absurd. This deck is kind of absurd. Powerhouse is crazy, but just lacking a little bit of like hard removal. Wow. Okay. Just getting all of it and more. With this top end now, it's possible that Gift of Paradise should come back into the main. Oh man, I'm kind of torn on what I'm supposed to be doing here. I am kind of torn on what I'm supposed to be doing here. Okay, we're currently at 28 cards. I would like to be running 17 lands if possible. But I also think the Gift of Paradise is now a definite consideration. I can probably cut some number of Initiate's Companions. I can probably cut Pouncing Cheetah. How good is this Benefaction? We have 16 creatures and how many enchantments? 1 Convergence and 2 Cartouches. Oh, and a Gift of Paradise. This doesn't hit artifacts though, right? Just, yeah, creatures and or an enchantment. All right, maybe I cut the Vizier. Cycling, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cycling. That makes the snipers kind of bad. Or a lot less tempting than I would like, at any rate. Let's chop this up by creatures and non-creatures. Okay, well, we have a lot of 3-drops, so maybe one of those should go. Currently at 25 cards. Yeah, maybe Miasmic Mummy's not great. That leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that cycle. Oh, very gross. Very gross. It's so hard to cut the Ruthless Snipers. I know I've said that a lot already, but I'm trying to do it, but I'm finding it hard to do so, especially when I have the Hapatra. One more cut, huh? One more cut. Come on, Nummy. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Also not running a lot of fine cards, but we already knew that. I still think I need to cut one of these 3-drops, but they're all so good. One, two. Yeah, maybe it is just the Gift of Paradise. I guess I don't need it. And the Greater Sandworm cycle. So, makes it a lot easier for me to get those lands anyways. Alright, I'm going to try it like this. I'm sure there might be a build that's a little bit better, but I think this is still just very, very good. Nice, solid green-black deck with a lot of nice bombs and cards. We're going to run a 9-8 split in favor of green. Just because we have so much more green. And yeah, let's save this and go to the round 1. Stay tuned, folks. Let's play it out, see how we do. Alrighty, round 1 here with our green-black Insano bomb deck. I did make a quick change to the main deck before I went to the match. I swapped the companion out for the Dune Beetle, as after looking at the deck, I realized I'd rather have a 1/4 to block early game to help me get to my late game than play a 3/1 aggro creature. So, speaking of which, there's the Dune Beetle. And again, that took the place of the 3/1 companion that untapped a creature or land when it dealt damage to a player. So, I think this is going to pay off. I could just cycle the Greater Sandworm here, but I'll play the Dune Beetle out. If we miss a land drop, I can just main phase Greater Sandworm next turn. I'd rather get the blocker out immediately, especially in case the opponent has 3/2 Crash or Haste. Double Cartouche should do some good work versus black-red. They cycle a Horror of the Broken Lands at end of turn. And play a Thresher Lizard already. Alright, not a land, so we'll go ahead and just cycle our Worm. Hope to hit a land here. Beautiful. And we will just pass. They do have a free roll attack with their Worm, their Lizard into my Beetle, but I probably block anyways. Ah, never mind. They play a black Cartouche here. Sure. Okay, we'll take 4. Did draw another land, though, which was nice. And now I think I'm just going to get the Edifice online. Could play the Hooded Brawler and set up a Cartouche of my own, but I think this is probably just better. And I still have enough mana to go Hooded Brawler plus activate Edifice next turn, so good stuff there for me. Pitiless Vizier, sure. Unburden, not exactly the card we were looking for, but we will play out the Hooded Brawler. And just Edifice the Lizard again. What I can do next turn is attack with the Brawler, exert it. Oh, never mind, it will die. I was going to say, I could attack next turn with the Brawler, exert it, and then post-combat, Cartouche of Strength to fight. But that doesn't look like something we're going to be capable of doing anymore. As we'll take another hit here for 4. And another Vizier from the opponent. Oh, really need to hit my lands here. I guess we can lead with the black Cartouche on our Beetle, making one of their Viziers a 3/1. And now as a 1/4 it can actually block. A little bit stuck on lands, but if we can just hold off for a turn or two, we should be in good shape. They're still attacking with their 3/1 though, which I don't like the look of that. They could just have a cycle here, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and block and see what they do. Hopefully it's just cycling. Ah, but it was a brute strength, darn it. Okay, well now I can't Cartouche next turn. And again, no land for me, so I am dead on board. It's unfortunate. I need to hit like a sniper here. No, land's not going to do it, and we will just take 7. Darn, okay. Stuck on lands versus a deck I think we should have a good game versus. Edifice did some nice work, but we didn't have the necessarily early game to get there. I think I'm just going to run it back. We have 17 lands. We have a few ways to draw cards via cycling and whatnot. So let's play first this time. Very slow hand, of course, but I'm going to go ahead and keep again. The opponent didn't have too many aggro creatures. Like, they just played a 3-drop and 2 4-drops, and then combat tricks. So my first play being Edifice is not going to be terrible, provided they don't have an early start. Ornery Kudu, not a bad draw. In fact, we can just play that on turn 3 and then Cartouche on turn 4 and have a 3/4 lifelinker. Oh yeah, and they're not even playing anything. Good stuff for us. We'll go ahead and do that. And the Decimator Beetle, pretty good versus our own 1/1 counters. Alright, Kirsta Minotaur from the OP. Nice, we did hit our 5th land, so we're going to Cartouche up. Give their creature -1/-1, make it a 2/1, and attack in for 3 lifelink. And even getting a few hits in with a lifelinking creature is huge versus the aggro decks. Manglehorn Minotaur from the opponent, sure. Forced the draw for us. I'm going to offer the trade. They might not actually block, as it is a little bit risky versus green-black. But if they do, I'm still fine with it. We could just get to follow up with our own Beetle. Okay, this is alright. Getting their threat off the board, gaining 3 life, and then playing the Decimator Beetle, which threatens the Kirsta Minotaur. Should be good. Also, 2 more lands away from our Sandworm Convergence, and we have the Edifice online. Manticore of the Gauntlet, alright. I don't really understand that play necessarily, as I get to attack in here and make their creature a 4/3 and make mine a 4/5. I guess I was going to kill their 2/1 anyways. Alright, Edifice, Sniper, and we are looking in excellent shape. Kirsta Minotaur not going to do the job. Start turning off their creatures, getting brick counters. Ooh, green Cartouche. Not a bad one. They do have a Brute Strength in their deck, but remember, Cartouche is a May. So I can Cartouche, go to fight their Manticore, and if they buff it in response, I can choose no on the fight, which is what they did. Nope. And that's one of the things I don't like about the green Cartouche. I think it's a little bit broken in that aspect. You can't get blown out like that. Whereas with like a card like Hunt the Weak, you definitely can. Alright, 1 land away. And next turn I'll be able to use the Edifice on my turn to turn off their creature, blocking and attacking. Alright, black Cartouche. They're going to put it on my Ruthless Sniper, I imagine, otherwise the Decimator... Oh, that's weird. Otherwise the Decimator Beetle can once again remove another counter from itself. But instead of doing any of that, let's just jam the Convergence and watch the opponent scoop. In all likelihood. Expensive, but great. And just as imagined, opponent did the old scoopty-poopty. Alright, so more combat tricks. They do have a black Cartouche as well, which we already knew about. Pouncing Cheetah is probably a fine include versus the aggro deck. I'm going to take out the Oracle's Vault, actually. It's a little bit too slow, and we'll bring in the Pouncing Cheetah. I almost like bringing in the Synchronized Strike as well as a good stabilized combat trick. Supernatural Stamina, also not a terrible idea, I think. Add the Stamina, maybe take out the Unburden. Yeah, and go to a game 3. Against more dirtily decks, Oracle's Vault is probably amazing, but versus them, I think we want to cut it. And this is going to be a keep on the draw. 2-drop, and I can even cycle the Horror if I need to. Gonna need to draw some more spells, so Swamp off the top is not a good hit for us. I'll probably be cycling this Horror of the Broken Lands as the opponent plays turn 2, 4/3. Not good, not good. The old Blood Rage Brawler. And what are they discarding? They discarded a mountain, alright. Yeah, that's going to be a problem for us. Cycle our Horror away. Draw another... Oh, wow, okay. I don't know. It feels like whenever I keep 5 landers, I just get extremely punished on Magic Online. As they play a black Cartouche to really start the beats. I'm going to need to draw the green Cartouche here. Hey, okay, that gives us a slight chance. It was actually a very good draw, as now I'm able to exert here, give our creature Death Touch, and then kill their 5/4. Now, I have to 2 for 2 myself here, but that's obviously great. And, well, hopefully I rip nothing but spells and they have a slow, dirtily hand at this point. Cycle Desert Ceradon. I like that play. Into Miasmic Mummy. Alright, I never needed these lands anyways. They discarded a Brute Strength, sure. And no land to follow up. Well, I kept a 5-lander, and we've drawn 4 land in 1 spell. Maybe we can draw Decimator Beetle next turn. Or my other horror. Yeah. And its variants, of course. This happens sometimes in Magic. You never want it to happen to you, but it does happen. Yeah, and that's just going to be way too late. We're going to be dead on board to the Menace and Exert creature, so scoop it up and say that's really unfortunate. I think our deck is amazing, and we simply flooded out. Bad variance, but not much you can do about that. Sometimes you just have to take your losses and move on. Go to our second match. We should be able to pull off a 2-1 with this deck, but it always feels slightly salty to lose the first round to such bad luck. Like even this hand, last game would have been amazing. As we get to go turn 1 Ruthless Sniper here. Turn 2 Dune Beetle, turn 3 Benefaction. Opponent playing black-white, so probably playing the zombie / mummy deck. Indeed, a Binding Mummy is their turn 2 play. And we'll play the good old Dune Beetle and pass. Okay, attacking with the Mummy. I'll block with the Dune Beetle. If they have the +2/+1 for all zombie creatures, that's fine. If they have supernatural stamina, that's fine. I don't mind. What other reason would you put a 1/4 in your deck if you're not going to block with it, you know? Okay, and they're going to use Impeccable Timing instead. I'm completely fine with that. As we draw a Greater Sandworm for the turn. Let's Benefaction, see if we can hit some enchantments and creatures. Indeed we do. We hit a Sandworm Convergence, and let's take the Ornery Kudu. Do I want to attack my creature into a Jizeru's Resolve? It's probably fine. Although, it's only 1 point of damage, which is not entirely relevant given my hand, so I'm actually not going to attack. That might look loose, but 1 point of damage, again, not relevant in the long run with this hand. Alright. Take our beats for 2. And say, what you got, OP? What you got for 4 mana? Sparring Mummy. Untap your Binding Mummy. Plague Belcher. Ooh, that card is a problem. And they're actually going to sack off their Binding Mummy to make a 5/4. Okay. That is very aggressive. Do an Unburden, which doesn't look too bad here. I guess I'm just going to cycle and start making that card smaller. I would love to Unburden because they have so few cards left in their hand, but just cycling it away, continuously taking less damage might be a better option. Anointer Priest, not an issue. Glorybound Initiate is an issue. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and cycle here. Kill their Glorybound Initiate. Ah, Hapatra. Vizier of Poisons. That was an amazing draw. Now we can start doing some real work. Cycle the Unburden. Give their Plague Belcher -1/-1. Make a snake. Again, Hapatra, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Whenever you put 1 or more 1/1 counters on a creature, create a 1/1 green snake with Death Touch. Opponent just played a start, but they did not get to finish. So, I get to go like this. I get to play Ornery Kudu. Put a 1/1 counter on my sniper because I don't need it. Create a 1/1 snake. And now I get to pass and hold up Unburden Cycle. Trigger Ruthless Sniper. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature. And get a 1/1 snake. Pretty nice value. Pretty nice value. Now they can Aftermath, of course. They do have Finish, but Hapatra will have already done her work. And looks like they're just going to go to combat. Okay. So I'm going to happily block here with my Kudu and my Snake. Yeah, I'm just going to let this trade happen. I could go for Cycle and Burden and make their Plague Belcher too small, but I think we want to just do this instead and see what they got. And nothing, so we'll Cycle and Burden. We're actually here, we're going to kill a warrior token, as Destined to lead next turn on one of my snakes is going to eat 2 of their creatures. And let Hapatra get in to finish off the last, so amazing turn here for us. They're going to have to throw everything in front of the Death Touch Snake. We are going to order the 3/3 and the 3/1 first. Hapatra is going to trigger, put a 1 counter on their warrior, and we're going to get another snake after that. And like I said, Hapatra is just absurd. The fact that we got her in the last pack in our black deck is very, very crazy. What can we Gravedigg back? We can Gravedigg back one of our cycling creatures. That's pretty good. Or I can just get the Oracle's Vault and the Edifice online. That also seems fine to me. I don't want to take too much damage, though. So it's probably better just to lead with Edifice and start turning off their attacker. And the next turn we can Vault, activate the Vault. This says play, not cast, so you can play lands that you hit off of the Vault. Also, if we get Sandworm Convergence online, then their flyer is irrelevant, as it won't be able to attack anymore. So let's turn off their flyer. Did hit a land. Alright, so that's going to be the old bingo, bango, bongo, as our 3 snakes are going to get back in the red zone. We jam the Convergence, and again, I imagine the opponent just quickly scoops after that. It's going to be hard to come back from this one. Binding Mummy, sure. Vizier of Remedies, sure. This doesn't actually help, because... well, I guess it does. I lied. Vizier of Remedies is going to be good, but it doesn't matter when I'm making a worm every turn, as the opponent just scoops there, and we are going to go to a game 2. Yeah, so the first round, I think we just got really unlucky. I mean, you guys saw the draws. Kept a 5-lander, drew quite a few lands after that, but I think this deck is sick. The only real issue being that the Ruthless Snipers don't have as many cycle effects as I would like, but overall, this deck has a ton of absurd cards, right? Convergence, Double Sandworm, Destined to Lead, Decimator Beetle, Double Horror, Oracle's Vault, I mean, Double Edifice, Cartouche, Hapatra, like, just so many good things going on here. Again, hopefully the 2-1 is in our future, but if not, get some sweet games with this deck anyways, as we are on the draw, and we have a fine hand. Nothing to write home about, but fine nonetheless. Opponent's not extremely aggro anyways, although Glory Bound's initiate is gross. Ooh. But we drew the Hapatra. We get to go Hapatra into Ornery Kudu and immediately make a snake token. This is one of the most powerful cards in the format, in my opinion. Oh, wow, we drew the Ruthless Sniper, too. Nothing to cycle with it yet, so we'll just play the Kudu. And we're going to put it on the Kudu itself. Get a snake. But yeah, as I was mentioning, this is like one of the most oppressive cards. You play it on turn 2, it attacks as a 4/4 lifelink the following turn, and just makes it so hard to race. Or it puts them so far ahead in the beginning of the game that it's really gross. Alright, Soul Stinger from the opponent. Notably, this is only when I put -1/-1 counters, so if I kill the Soul Stinger and they put -1/-1 counters on my creature, then I don't get any tokens. Excellent draw there, as we will play the Sniper, cycle a Wormy, kill their Glorybound Initiate, get a token, and I'm just going to pass. I'm going to keep accruing value. We'll eventually get this Edifice online. Ah, well, I guess Vizier of Remedies kind of stops that game plan. But no worries. This Destined to Lead is just going to get better and better as the game progresses like this. Stir the Sands! Alright. Defiant Great Maw. Another awesome draw there. Get to put the -1/-1 counters on itself. Trigger itself. Trigger Hapatra. We get to remove the counter from the Ornery Kudu. And yeah. Keep bingo bangoing. Binding Mummy, that's fine. Unwavering Initiate. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use the Destined to Lead next turn, as I don't want them to have the in Oketra's name and mass pump all of their creatures. So let's just add another counter to this. And what do we want to put it on? I guess any way we do it, we're only killing 2 creatures. But we do get in for quite a bit of damage. Alright, so let's just put it on the snake to get in for the most damage possible. So now all of their creatures have to block the snake. I'll be killing the Vizier and the Binding Mummy. Kill the Vizier, kill the Mummy. Yep, order it like this. Then we gotta put a 1/1 counter on something and get another snake. Let's put it on their Vigilance creature. And now Edifice is going to be online next turn, so I can turn off the Soul Stinger from blocking and just start YOLO bashing. Alright, actually, yeah, that's fine. They can embalm it, but that's not a big deal. Okay. And yeah, let's turn off their Soul Stinger. Attack in with our snakes. Wouldn't be surprised to just see these trade off for zombies. But if we're just getting in for damage, that's also pretty good. Okay, those who serve from the opponents. Horror of the Broken Lands. Not a bad draw. I think that's better off as a cycle for our deck. And it lets me attack in with more creatures now. Not many cards that cycle, but when we do find them, boy howdy is it good. Okay, so trade, trade, trade. Block, block, all right. So, let's order here. Cycle our horror. Put a counter on those who serve. Get another snake. Draw a card. Unfortunately, not another cycle. And clear the board a bit. It's possible 17 lands was too many in this deck, but that doesn't feel like the case. Well, I guess we're just going to be hard casting that one. Actually, that's not even true. Because they can just tap it down with Fanbear. Maybe not. I guess we are just playing the Greater Sandworm. Darn. Just have to play my 7/7 that can't be blocked. Okay, they cycle Forsake the Worldly and scoop it up. All right. So game 2 is a win, and we are going to go to the third round. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Again, I think a little bit unfortunate that we lost the first round. Some really unfortunate draws. But our deck is a little bit colder to the super aggro decks like that red-black deck we faced. Hopefully we can get another good match here to finish things off with a 2-1. Hopefully we can Sandworm and Hapatra some more people out. The third round, we are currently 1-1. We won the die roll. Let's play first. And let's certainly keep this hand. We might just go super aggro. 2-drop, 3-drop, Cartouche, Cartouche, GG is something I imagine that is going to happen quite frequently in this format, and hopefully something I get to do in this game with one more land. Oh, another Fanbear, though. So maybe our aggro start might be a little bit hindered. Not really, though. As long as we draw a third land, I get to start cartouching out. All right. Looks like we're just going to have to cycle. And hope to find another land here. Yeah, that's not good. I suppose we're not in a rush, though. Yeah, opponent's just passing. Maybe they attack for one and play something. Nope, okay. Fine by me. Go to combat. They're going to let me attack? No, okay. Tap it down. And we'll play out our Brawler now. Eventually they'll tap out, and when they do, we can get them. I prefer not to run into a Resolve or a Shed Weakness. Something silly like that. Six cards in their hand, though. They could have anything, even a boat, as they like to say. A boat turns out to be a 4/4. All right. Not that scary, as I will get to go like this. Exert, exert. If they want to trade their 4/4 for either of these creatures, I'm fine with that. If they don't, then I get to Cartouche now. My 5/4. And eat their 4/4. Pretty strong play. Hooded Brawler is becoming one of my favorite cards. Just does so much work for 3 mana. It is awkward on the draw versus a more aggro deck, but if you're ahead at all, the Hooded Brawler just insane. So we get to take a turn off here. And ooh, we drew the Ruthless Sniper, which is pretty darn good given we have 2 cycling cards in our hand. You know what? I'm actually going to cycle this Unburden right now. Even though I don't get the trigger, I do need to draw a card and try to find another land here. So Let's just cycle Unburden right now. Try to hit a land. And we do not. So we will just pass. Okay, gonna take 2 in the air. Ooh, and an Honored Hydra from the opponent. One of the nicest rares in the format. Yowza. And me over here still with 3 land. Okay. We're going to run out the Edifice. Run out the Edifice and start making the Hydra unable to attack. The opponent does seem to be flooding out a little bit, so if I can draw out of it, we should be okay, as Screw generally beats Flood in a long game. And I will probably just be taking 10 here, as I can't block the flyer, and blocking a Trampler doesn't seem that ideal. I'm praying they don't have a Prepare to Fight. Oh, but they apparently have another huge fatty. Greater Sandworm now, too. Oh, hey, look, a 3rd land. Oh, sorry, 4th land, even. Well, this is my time to shine. Let's Cartouche of Ambition, our Hooded Brawler. Put a 1/1 counter on their flyer. And then next turn we can cycle the Horror to finish it off. And attack for 7, lifelink, and 3 Death Touch. Gain some life here. Huge life swing. They might block my Brawler with their Sandworm, which is great for us, as then they don't really have any more threats left, because I can just turn off the Hydra with the Edifice at this point. And again, next turn I'll be cycling the Horror to turn off the, or rather just kill the Elite. Huh, they opted to take it though. Okay, so to 2 they go. To 2 they go. And we have a nice little health cushion now. Those who serve, sure. I will tap down your 7/7, or rather, make it unable to attack. I'm not sure why they didn't attack there. But we'll main phase cycle. Again, trying to find some more lands. Hey, they do exist. Beautiful. Go to combat. Play the Dune Beetle 2nd main. Still hold up our Edifice. And now both of our creatures are untapping next turn, and both are lethal. Actually, all of my creatures are going to be lethal because I have the Destined. Not that they know that. Cartouche was amazing this game. Both of them. Land draws, not so amazing. Uh-oh. Do they have another fatty? More tricks up your sleeve. This Oracle's Vault has been very sad. Would have been great in the first round where I flooded, but in all these other games where I've not drawn many lands, it hasn't had its time to shine. Alright, cycle their flyer, play a Bitterblade Warrior. 2 cards in their hand. Let's Edifice their Sandworm again. I think the opponent should have attacked with their Hydra last turn, and certainly again with, not this turn, but last turn they should have attacked with the Hydra. Ah, yes, good old Convergence. Right when I don't need you. Alright, Brawler tapped. And we will just not do anything except play our Oracle's Vault. We're going to turn off the Sandworm again on their combat phase. Okay, well now they're attacking with their 6/6. And yeah, I'm just going to have to take it. This game is once again turning back in their favor. Feels kind of bad. Hapatra, what do you do? Not enough, unfortunately. Alright, let's go to combat. They'll tap down my Brawler. If I could give my Warrior Trample somehow, that would be amazing, but I can't. Yeah, we'll have to pass here. We can Oracle first. See what we hit. Can't cast that, but we can cast our Hapatra. And then we can say go. Alright. Turn off the Sandworm. 5 lands in my top 21 cards. Kinda gross. Might be dead here. Could very well be dead here to a pump spell. Not much I can do about that. Opponent deep in the tank. Okay. And now they're attacking with more. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Alright, we'll trade off here. We'll jump here. And I guess I'll take 4 total. Can I win this game if I do that? No, that doesn't seem right. I guess, you know what? I'm just going to not block the Hydra, and if they have a pump spell, I'm dead. Oh, did I miss something? Oh, I didn't realize the Vigilance creature was attacking. Whoops. Oh. Alright, well, somehow I didn't recognize that the Vigilance creature was attacking. Do we win this game if I don't do that? I guess it depends. That's kind of awkward. No, I guess we'll never know. Ruined by the Vigilance creature. Also ruined by lack of land that game. Let's run it back. I think we have a fine matchup. Let's hit our lands this time. Let's not realize, or let's actually realize that a Vigilance creature is attacking me for lethal. Should that be relevant? Whoopsies. Well, if we lose with this hand, then there's no hope for me because this is absurd. Hapatra into Kudu into Cartouche is probably game over. This is going to get out of hand. If they just pass with 2 mana open, I don't attack with Hapatra, though. I don't want to run into an impeccable timing. There's no reason to. Yep. I'll just Kudu here. Although, I guess it looks like they're F6, so yeah, might as well get in. I wasn't going to attack, but if they're going to let me, I might as well. I'll just keep loading up on the Kudu and making more snakes. As they play an Oketra's Monument. Alright, and yep. Turns out the Kudu is actually filled with mono snakes in it. And then we get to Cartouche next turn. Three flyer maybe. Sparring Mummy. Alright, fine. Not a big deal. Alright, let's Cartouche up our Brawler. Kill their warrior token. Get another snake. And attack in. Alright, they're down to 4. The Monument's very, very good against Hapatra, though. Trading off their tokens for my tokens. Seems like a good deal for them. Oh, what a sick, nasty draw that was, though. In fact, yeah, we get to Cartouche. I guess I don't want to do it there, do I? Do I have them dead? They block, block, no, they go to 1. Wait, no, I do have them dead if I Cartouche a snake and kill the warrior token, right? Because then I have 5 damage worth of poison, like they can block, block, yeah. So we Cartouche up on a snake, fight the warrior token, and then they take lethal damage. Unless they have an impeccable timing. But I think we go for it. Because Death Touch Trample means it's going to get in for 1 point of damage. Alright, beautiful. Turn 6 lethal with our green-black deck is kind of absurd. But we did have an absurd draw, so... Can't complain there. That one makes up for some of our stumbling in last game. Might want to bring in the Dissenter's Deliverance, as it is good with our cycling synergies, and it kills the Oketra's Monument. Maybe take out a Sandworm? No, that doesn't seem right. I'll take out the Benefaction. It's a good card in our deck, but it doesn't have much synergy. And I'd rather just go for the synergies in this deck. Ruthless Snipers and -1/-1 counters. Well, that's unfortunate. Even on the draw, I'm not going to keep this hand. If it had a swamp, I would consider it, as any land would let us cycle. And we have a sniper, but... Gotta go down to 6 with this one. Yeah, we're going to keep a very medium 6-card hand, and sadly bottom a Decimator Beetle. I'm going to almost certainly just cycle away this Horror of the Broken Lands. dig for some lands and other relevant spells. Dune Beetle should hold off the ground for a while. And we even have some cartouches we can load up on it if we want to go big. Big Beetle. Alright, land's a good draw. Yeah, land's a good draw. And now most spells are good draws, so. Back in okay shape, I would say. Okay shape. There's a Defiant Great Maw from the opponent. And we will just jam the Edifice down. Start ticking up the brick counters. Brick counter. This card is just very nice. Unwavering Initiate from OP. Seems fine. Convergence. Oh, baby. I think I actually like cartouching up our Dune Beetle and fighting their 3-2, though. Maybe that's not correct, but I still like it. Ah, there's that monument. All right. Hopefully we can find that deliverance at some point. And we'll hold the cartouche. Okay. Turn off their Great Maw for the turn. Do they have no plays? With 5 cards in hand? Oh my. That is terrifying. I'm just going to keep passing here. We have a Sandworm Convergence in our hand. I want to play for the late game. Ah, Pouncing Cheetah. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense. Turn off the cheetah. This destined to lead on our Bitterblade Renegade or Bitterblade Warrior is going to be insane. Attacking with their Great Maw now. What shenanigans is this, my friend? I'm blocking with my 2/5. Just kidding, just kidding. Quarry Hauler. Remove a counter from the Great Maw. All right. Seems good. Ooh, the Oracle's Vault. Oh man, it's tempting to just get that online and start going to town. But it's also pretty damn tempting to cartouche our Bitterblade Warrior up. Kill a token, and set up this Destined to Lead, which will be able to kill 5 creatures. I just need to hit 1 more land. Please. Do this for me. Do this for me. I'm not actually going to use the Edifice here. Okay. As my 2/5 can just eat their 3/2. I'm not sure what this attack is. Maybe they want impeccable timing. Mighty Leap. Okay. Yeah. Is it worth saving? Probably. Yeah, probably at this point. I think I'm fine with that. I'll take my beat for 7, though, which kind of sucks. And they have a follow-up play. Oh, they do. Amazing. Okay. Right. Oracle's Vault. Turn off their 4/3. Oh, I should have used the other mode, actually. Whoops. Get another counter. Because if they have another Quarry Hauler, they can actually remove a counter. Oh, crap. And this was doubly bad because... Oh, no, never mind. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. I was going to say they wouldn't be able to block now, but... Well, now we get to go Insano, because... we are going to lead on our death-touching, life-linking creature. And get to kill 4 things. Still want to leave back the Dune Beetle, though, because I'm not killing all of their creatures. I'm going to kill their Flyer, I'm going to kill their Quarry Hauler, I'm going to kill their Great Maw, and I'm going to kill their Those Who Serve. This is gross. Gotta block with everything, my friend. Have to block with everything. Alright. So Flyer, Great Maw, Quarry, Those Who Serve, leave them with the Cheetah and 3 tokens. And I still keep my Bitterblade Warrior. Oh, no, I don't. I lied. Because we're, it didn't have Indestructible for the turn. Let's use the Vault to start getting counters. If it hits a land, I can play it. Boo. Hit a second Edifice. That's fine. We still just want to get counters on it. I'm having fun here. This is good. We're starting to get swarmed, but as soon as our Vault hits 3 counters, I imagine it's going to be very hard to lose. Also, I get to cast Sandworm Convergence next turn? The Dream? I have to watch out for a pump spell. The Trial of Solidarity or In a Ketra's Name could be really problematic for us. Yeah, they have a lot of tokens now. If they have the pump spell... Ooh, lordy, that's going to be bad. That's really bad too, actually. Oh, no, it's not. The Flyer can't attack. Never mind. The Flyer can't attack because our Convergence now. So, jam the Convergence, get a 5/5, pass the turn, and say, if you got the Anthem, you got me. If you don't, good luck, sir. Good luck. Right-click attack all? Indeed. All right. Not even an exert. I guess Inoketra's name wouldn't even matter. It's only giving +1/+1. And by not really matter, I mean matter quite a bit because they still have way too many creatures and I'm going to lose next turn. Oh no! I'm at 4. 1, 2. I can block 2. I need to find 4, 5. I need to find 5 blockers? And our black Cartouche is already gone. Holy moly. Okay. Cycle. Gravedigger back, Ruthless Sniper. I think I'm dead though. I have 5 blockers, but they have 7, 8, 9, 10 creatures that attack. What an amazing game. There was a few turns where I got too greedy, right? There must have been a few turns where I got too greedy. But GG kids. All right, that was a fun one. Even though we went 1-2, I think this deck was definitely capable of 3-0ing. A few misplays for sure. A few unlucky draws for sure. I mean, we did have some good draws, of course. But overall, that deck was sweet. And, you know, you don't win them all. I don't record multiple drafts every time for these Numot gaming, so when I go 1-2, you get a 1-2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, though. It was a very fun deck. I mentioned everything before, but the Ruthless Snipers didn't have as many synergies as I would like, but the Sandworm Convergence and the Hapatra were really, really sweet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Anyways, if you guys are watching on either Numot Gaming or my YouTube page, please check out all of the other content on each. And for everybody here at Numot Gaming and YouTube, this is Kenji, NumotTheNummy, signing out with the very first Drafting with Numot, Amonkhet. Take it easy, my friends.